Alright YouTube, what's got Hightower 5000 here today, bringing another quest guide today. We're going to be doing the quest Desert Treasure. I can start this quest by speaking to the archaeologist who is located in the Bedouin camp, which is in the desert. I'm starting off this wee introduction here in the Shanty Pass in Al-Kharid, where you can charter a magic carpet over there. I'm also doing this introduction here because if I was in the desert doing the introduction, which I usually do the introduction at the start of a quest, I'd be using up my water skins, which only have 2 of them. Anyway, the requirements for this quest are that you must have completed the dig site, the tourist trap, the Temple of Ikov, which there's a link to in the description below, Priest in Peril, Waterfall Quest, and Troll Stronghold. The skills I must have are 10 Slayer, 50 Fire Making, 50 Magic, and 53 Feeding. Having a high agility level will also be an advantage, as you will not fail obstacles as much. You also need to be able to defeat a high level monster of around level 120. Items required for this quest are you're going to need around 1,000 coins, 12 magic logs noted, 6 steel bars noted, 6 molten glass noted, some ashes, some charcoal, some blood runes, and some bones, like I've got here in my inventory. These are the items we're going to need for the start of the quest, so don't worry about these other items that I'm about to list. We'll need to go to the bank multiple times throughout this quest so we can get them then. We're also going to need a chocolate bar or some chocolate cake. We're going to need spiked boots, which I will show you how to obtain in this video later on. You're going to need some garlic, a silver bar, spice, either a face mask, masked earmuffs, or a Slayer helmet of any version. You're going to need at least 10 lockpicks, and you're also going to need combat gear as well. However, it is a little bit different to each section. Basically, this quest is broken down into the introduction and then all the 4 diamond searches. Finally, to say, this quest is a master difficulty and the length is long, hence why I'm going to try to break it up into 5 sections as well. So let's go and get this quest started. So I'm starting off here from the Shanty Pass. What you want to do is pass through the Shanty Pass, and your best teleportation method out to the Bedouin camp is to fast travel using the rug. What you want to do is go to the Bedouin camp, which is option 1. It'll cost you a small amount of coins. I think it costs you 1,000 coins, so you're actually going to need an extra 650 coins on top of all of this. And once you arrive at the Bedouin camp, what you're going to do is you're going to talk to the archaeologist here, who's coincidentally right beside the travel rugs. So, start off a conversation with him, and then what you're going to ask is, do you have any quests? Option number 2. And then the archaeologist is going to explain that there's a possibility, and you're going to be given the quest prompt. So you're going to accept the quest, continue through the chat, and basically you'll be given this item, this etchings here. So what we need to do with this is we need to take this to the exam center of the dig site. The dig site is located to the east of Varrock, and the exam center is located to the southeast of Varrock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Varrock lodestone. If for some reason you do actually have the dig site pendant, then obviously use that. I don't have that. But if you are to use the Varrock lodestone like me, then what you want to do is basically just travel directly east in a direction until you hit a wall, and then go through the gate just to the south. Okay, so once you arrive, you're going to talk to the archaeologist expert, and then you're going to select Ask About Desert Treasure Quest, option number 1. And then you can ask who's Terry, and this is Terry, funnily enough. And then basically you're going to hand him over what we're given from the archaeologist. Once you finish talking to him, you're actually going to re-talk to him again, ask about Desert Treasure again, and then basically he's going to have read through it in that time, and he's going to give back this here. So he's going to retranslation, quickly read through this book, and then unfortunately we're going to have to head back to the Bedouin camp. So make your way back there. I'm going to be going via Al-Kharid, then down to the Shanty Pass, then from there from the Shanty Pass using the rug back to the Bedouin camp. And once you arrive back at the Bedouin camp, what you're going to do is you're going to talk to the archaeologist, and then you're going to say what you were given from Terry. So basically what is going to happen is you're going to get given an option here. Actually select option number 2, don't read book. And then basically he will take the book off you. You're then going to re-talk to him again. And then basically he's going to say what he found out about the book. that he finds interesting. And basically what he's going to do is he's going to offer you a 50-50 share in the treasure. So you can select option number 1, help him. If you select don't help him, then you will not be able to continue on with the quest. And then that is that part done. So what we're going to do from here is we're actually going to head south into the bandit camp. You probably have heard of the bandit camp before, so you're going to head directly south from here. And basically here there's the Bedabin camp, and then there's the bandits just to the south, which we're going to head to now. And then basically once you arrive in the bandit camp, what you're going to want to do is walk into the bar and then talk to the bartender. Now just a very quick note here, make sure you're not wearing any Sardamonin or Zamrock items, or you're going to get attacked by near enough every single bandit in this room, which might be a bit of a disaster. So actually don't talk to him. What you're going to want to do first of all is trade him and then buy the beer. This is why we brought at least 650 coins. You're then going to obtain a bandit brew. Now you're going to talk to him and basically he's going to help you out because we bought one of his products. So now you're going to interrupt him and then you can start a chat with him. And then you're going to select option number 2, I heard about 4 diamonds. Okay, so the bartender is going to tell us that he's not the best person to talk to about this, so we're going to have to go find someone else in the village. So what you're going to do is you're going to leave from the east and you're going to go across sort of the courtyard here, and there's going to be this house. There's going to be this person walking around in pure white outside this house called Bliss. So we're going to go over and talk to Bliss, and he's one of the village elders, and basically he's going to know what we're talking about. And then you're going to select option number 4, tell me of the 4 diamonds. You're then going to select yes. And then select option number 1, yes, I will go get those for you. So basically now if we were to go in and check the quest guide, basically what we need to do is we need to bring these items. Now we should have all these items in our inventory. So if for some reason you've not brought the correct items, or if you've not brought them in note or unnoted form, then go back to the bank and get them like I've got them, like so. Okay, so what we're now going to do is we're now going to use all the items on him. So just go ahead and start using the items. If you're conscious that he's not accepting them for quest purposes, then you can go in and check the quest log, and then basically make sure with bones in where you do not bury the bones. Hand him over all the items, and then finally, once I've given this charcoal, that should be everything for the spells. Once you've given him all the items, what you can do is just double check that you've given him all the items. As you can see now, all this, we've given him all this, so we're going to re-talk to him again. And then basically he's going to say that he's going to meet us over by some mirrors just to the east. So what we're going to do is we're going to head in a southeasterly direction, and if you need to check the map, basically what you're going to be looking for is the lodestone. This is the bandit camp lodestone, and this is where he is now located. What we're now going to do is talk to him again, and he's basically going to tell us that out of these mirrors, 2 of them are actually fake and that 4 of them contain diamonds behind them. So basically if we come in and look at our quest log, basically it's going to say that we need to go and find a diamond of blood, a diamond of smoke, a diamond of ice, and a diamond of shadow. So that's basically the first part, the introduction part, sort of completed of this quest. Now we've got to go off and do all these diamond parts. Now for this part we're going to require some decent combat gear. I've got myself my melee set up pretty much here. Quite basic sort of stuff, less than a mil. And I've also got my inventory set up as well, so I've got myself 2 prayers, 2 super restores, some food, chocolate cake. Make sure however you do not eat that as food though, because we'll need that for part of this. Emergency teleport in case things get fucked up, and also an iron bar. Now, as I said, we need spiked boots, and this is one thing we don't have yet, and I'm going to show you how to get these. Basically, spiked boots are going to be required for this. Now where we're going to be going is we're going to be going up to near the God Wars dungeon just past Trolline. Now what I'm going to do is, because I'm lucky enough that I have 61 magic and I've unlocked the teleport, I can use that to get up there. However, I know that some of you will not have that, so some of you are going to have to walk up there. So first of all, if you do not have 61 magic and do not have the teleport unlocked, then unfortunately you have to navigate your way up through the mountains. I'll put a map on screen when you need it for that to happen, but you need climbing boots for that. Now you can buy rock climbing boots, which actually is the same thing for that off the G, but they're 75,000 coins. Whereas if you buy climbing boots, which I'll show you how to do, you can do that for just 12 coins. However, we're at least going to need one pair of climbing boots anyway, because we need to make them into spike boots. So to summarise, if you do not have the Trollheim teleport, then you can be buying 2 pairs of climbing boots, whereas if you're just normally needing spike boots, like myself, like everyone will for this quest, then you're just going to need to buy 1. So how do we get these climbing boots, you might ask? Well, I'm going to show you how. So what we're doing here is we're in Bartholope. What you're going to do is you're going to follow my route here, and we're going to go up to Wee House on the mountains, and there's this person which we're going to be able to buy the boots off. So from Bartholope, what you want to do is follow my route. Just a quick note as well, you might have to have protect from range on, because there are these big mountain trolls up here which can be aggressive towards you up until a certain level. Unfortunately I can't remember what level is, but I think I'm now immune at level 115 combat. So once you get up to this house here, what you're going to do is open the gate and then open the door and then go into the house. And there should be this person here called Freda. Talk to her. And then basically skip for a chat. And then select option number 3. Can I buy some climbing boots? And then buy standard boots for 12 GP. And then that's you purchase some climbing boots. What you can do once you've actually got your boots is you're going to want to teleport back to Berthorpe. And then with this iron bar, we're going to get these changed into spike boots. So from the lodestone anyway, what you're going to want to do is run up in a northeasterly direction, primarily north, a little bit east. And there's actually going to be some shops up at the top of the town. Once you arrive up here, there's going to be this person here called Dunstan. You're going to talk to Dunstan. And then you're going to select option number 1. Can you put some spikes on my climbing boots? And then he's basically going to ask you to have an iron bar, which we do. So select option number 1. Yes, I still want them. He's going to use up the iron bar. And then basically this is us now got some spiked boots. Fortunately now, as I am having to do the long walk, I'm going to have to buy myself some rock climbing boots. Quite unfortunate, I know. But unfortunately I've not actually got the quests completed to do either the Trollheim or Godward's teleport. It's probably best as well, because the majority of people, I'm going to assume, have not actually got the teleports unlocked. Right, okay, so I'm now about to begin the walk. I'm just north of Berthorpe here. What you're going to want to do is make sure you have your rock climbing boots enabled. If you are using teleports, you can skip a little bit ahead and save yourself a few minutes. If not, I'm going to speed this up and I'm going to show you how to make it up there. Hopefully I won't fuck up. Yes, I'm doing this live. I will make mistakes. I am human. Make sure, however, you do have some prayers ready, and make sure you have protect from range ready, because you might be getting some rocks hurled at you at some point. So we're going to come back up actually to where we were going to head off up to the house on the hill there, but then instead we're actually going to want to climb over a wall. Once you climb over this wall, I think I'm immune, maybe I'm not immune actually. What you're going to want to do is turn on your protect from range prayer and then continue in a northerly direction. Basically in a sense it's going to be all north, however we might have to go south at 1 or 2 points. You're going to come through the troll camp here. This is a really common spot for training, and also it's good for slayer tasks as well, which I've done in the past. Once you're so far up, eventually you'll reach this cave. We're actually going to go through this cave and you'll come out the other side. Again, you need to watch out, put protect from range on. That's the entrance to God Wars over there. That's where you move the boulder. So some of you guys actually might know this area quite well. However, I would assume if you did God Wars a lot, then you'd have the teleport unlocked. So eventually we'll get to this stage here. If you're using another teleport method, like the Trollheim teleport, then you probably came from this direction here. So this is us sort of at the junction at which we're now joining up. So we're going to follow this path now in a northwesterly direction. And coming up, basically what's going to be happening is snow is going to be falling. And snow in this game is actually a real bitch. Or up in this sort of area of Runescape anyway. I realise the Christmas event is on right now, but that snow doesn't damage you. This snow will. This snow will drain your combat skills. So basically I've got a feeling it's actually going to get rid of all my prayer and all my run energy. It's also going to start to weaken my strength, my attack and my defense. So once we get here anyway, we're going to talk to the troll child, who's just outside this ice gate here. And then basically he's not up for talking, so we're going to offer him the chocolate cake. Make sure you right click on the fucking chocolate cake. The amount of people who just left click things and end up eating the fucking cake, don't do that. So use the cake on the troll child, and then basically the troll will be up for talking now. So retalk to the troll child again, and then basically the troll child is going to say that basically someone has stolen his mummy and daddy and that they've been frozen and we need to go save them. So select yes, option number 1, and then basically this is our mission, and out of this we'll get nice diamonds. So what you want to do is make sure that you've probably got your prayers actually at the ready, because this is going to be quite an important part. We're going to pass through this ice gate now. So he's just going to give you one final warning message about the air freezing. We know about this. As you see here, it'll give you a wee warning. So this area is cold, so you'll experience constant slow drain of your stats. So what you're going to want to do is, this is a whole sort of field of ice trolls. Just try and ignore them for now. Anyway, you might start to get attacked. That's going to happen. Actually, sorry, 20 XP or point loss is from the snow. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and go through this ice cave, and unfortunately we can't get through because it's covered too much. So we're now actually going to have to go ahead and kill, I think it is 5 of these ice trolls. I'm going to put my rapid renewal prayer on because I want a prayer that's obviously going to try and heal me faster. Obviously if you don't have that and go for a rapid heal, you're going to want prayers like, and of course if you need to as well, put protect from melee on if you are requiring it from the ice trolls as well, because if you have a lower defense level then I can imagine you are going to be getting hit quite high, and also because the fact that you're getting hit every 5 seconds or so, 20 life points. Okay, so after you have killed 5 ice trolls, you should hopefully just be able to slide through the cave now, like I'm doing, like so, and now we're on the other side. So we're going to continue to follow this path now. It's going to go north, east, south, and then east again. Now you might want to turn on protect from melee here, because these are going to bite like 15 and it is going to be quite high. You're going to realise as well that you're going to be taking health from the snow falling as well. You need to also watch out that your run prayer, or your run anyway, has been deplenished to 0. That's why we brought some super resource. Unfortunately right now at this stage, as soon as you drink them they cancel out, so it looks like it's just going to be primarily walking for this part. That's why I suggested bringing so much food. And once you get past sort of these ice wolves, you're going to come into this more open, brighter area, and this is where we're going to get a boss. So as you can see, he is actually stuck behind a fucking rock, and it's not quite over level 100, but for some people this is going to be quite a task to kill. There's going to be an arrow, and basically you're going to be able to start attacking it. Now its attack styles are mage and melee, I believe, so I'd recommend protection from mage, as you can defend yourself with your melee armor if you've gone with melee armor. Obviously if you've gone with a different combat style, then obviously alter to your situation. Basically kill Camel. It shouldn't be too difficult. I mean, as you've seen, my stats have been drained here, but I'm still not doing too bad. And once you've done that, basically there's a super restore and some cakes as well. This is the game just being generous, saying okay, use these super restores to put your stats back to normal. So once you've finished that, basically that's sort of the main guardian thing over. Now you can turn off your prayers, re-eat. There's not going to be any more combat, I don't think. There's not going to be a lot anyway, so don't worry, but you are still going to be taking health damage from the snow, and we're also going to be actually like slipping down slopes. This is why I've got the spiked boots. So what you might need to do is you might need to go and rebank if for some reason you've got low foods. And the good thing is if you actually go rebank at this stage, then you're luckily enough that you don't have to kill that wee boss again, or you don't have to kill 5 trolls again, so that's why I'm suggesting bank now. Anyway, if you're okay like me and you're going to continue on, what you are going to do is you're going to head out of this wee area. You're going to head in a northeasterly direction. There's a path through, and then basically this is going to start a spiral sort of effect, which is quite shit. So what we're going to do is we're now going to wear the spiked boots, and then we're going to start following the spiral path round. Now yes, I'm playing on legacy mode for this, so you can't see my mini-map too well. I prefer legacy mode, not getting into that argument today. But what we want to do is use our super restores anyway, and basically what we're going to do is follow the spiral path round. This is actually going to take quite a while because it is quite long, and unfortunately just because of the fact that we have like little run. It's going to take quite a while, so I'm just going to speed this part up. As you can see, there's an ice bridge up above there. We will be crossing that when we eventually get round there. So basically you'll get to the start of the ice ledge here. You're going to use the ice ledge, and because we've got spikes in our boots, we'll be able to grip onto this sort of stuff. So what you can actually do is start climbing up. If you place your wee marker at the top of the hill, which you can do, your player will, from this stage anyway, automatically start running up there. So it makes life a little bit easier. If you have a lower agility level, I said this at the start, if you have a low agility level, then you're likely to slip on the way up. You might take a little bit of damage. I'm at agility level 77 right now. However, that even has been lowered, so at 66 I'm still doing alright. I've not slipped once yet. There we go, there's my first slip, coincidentally actually. Surprisingly I didn't take any damage, but it did stop me walking. I had to replace my marker down. And one day like me, you'll eventually get to the top of the fucking hill. So you get to another ice gate. We're going to go through the ice gate. Once we've managed to squeeze our fat ass through it, what we're going to do is we're going to follow this bridge over on it to another mountain. And then basically you're going to see here 2 ice blocks. These are the troll child's mummy and daddy. What you're going to do is you can talk to them if you want to. Basically they can't, obviously, because they're fucking frozen. So we're going to smash the ice. Don't worry, this doesn't kill them, and they can't attack you back. Again, the only health you'll be losing is from the snow. So basically they're going to say thank you for freeing me. Smash the ice on both of them. And then basically when you've killed the second one, basically they'll start some dialogue with you. So you want to go through all this dialogue. And then we'll be taken back down to where we started, where the troll child was. So basically it's going to continue through the dialogue, and eventually we should be given the ice diamond. As you can see in our inventory now, we have the ice diamond. So one thing to importantly note, not at all sure why this quest has this, but it has this thing where basically if you have one of the diamonds in your inventory for too long, and this only happens to random accounts, I don't know what code they've done here, but basically they spawn a random person anywhere, wherever you are in RuneScape. It's like a random event, a person who will start attacking you. So what I'd recommend is I'd recommend you banking this as soon as possible. So I'm going to go to Varrock, just use my teleport because that's the easiest place to go to. However, don't worry about it too much to get back, but they can spawn in at any time. They are supposedly around about level 100. But basically, if you do not have it in your inventory, then you cannot get attacked, so that's why I recommend bank. And that is the ice diamond part now over. Alright, okay, so for this next diamond, the blood diamond, we're going to be starting this off in Canifis. What you're going to want in your inventory to start off with is a silver bar, some spice, and some garlic. However, we will be banking again before we do the second part. There's a wee boss to this part as well. It's around about level 120, so for that I'd recommend having good armour. It recommends using magic armour and also attack style of magic, however I'm just going to use melee. You can see how it goes for me. And then on that basis, obviously, if you feel that you could do it with melee as well, then go for it. If not, change up. If you want to, obviously you're going to want food and prayer potions for that. One thing that is really good to have for this sort of area of RuneScape is the silver sickle. Why? Because that makes sure that your food doesn't go rotten when you're running around these places. There's these things called like ghosts or ghouls, not at all sure what they are, but they will make some of your food rotten in your inventory, so having this prevents that. Alright, okay, so let's get this started here from Canifis Bank. What we're going to do is we're going to go into the main sort of square in Canifis here, and the pub is to the south. What we're going to do is we're going to enter into this pub, and then hopefully just enter into a wee cutscene here. As you see, this person will start talking. What you want to do is you want to start to go through the chat. Once you've done the chat, you're going to come over and talk to Malak, and then again start to skip through the chat. You're then going to select option number 5, I believe it is. I'm looking for a special diamond. And then you're going to select option yes when you get the opportunity. And then we're going to select option number 3, how do I kill this person, which we need to kill to get the diamonds. And then once we're done that part, we can actually exit out of the conversation. So basically what Malak has told us here is that for this next part, what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to get ourselves some special blood. So for this first part, we need to get a pot to make and store this blood in. So what we're going to do is we're going to head out to Draenor Village. Best teleportation method for that is probably the Lodestone, or you can also use your Amulet of Glory if you have one as well. Once you arrive at Draenor Village, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to head to the north of the Witch's house, and then there's going to be a trap door just located above the Witch's house, which you can see on map here. It's quite clearly indicated. It's beside this cart here, and these are the Draenor sewers. So we're going to go down into the Draenor sewers, and once you actually open the door, climb down and go into the Draenor sewers, you're going to want to head east a little bit, and then you're going to want to go north where there's a large opening. And then once you arrive in here, what you're going to do is you're going to talk to this person here, Rantun I believe it is. And then basically what he is going to do is with that silver bar, he's going to change it into a silver pot, which is just what we need. Okay, so for this next part, what we're going to have to do is head to the island of Entrana, and we need to get this pot blessed by a monk, a high priest on that island. Because this island is sort of like a special island, it's quite holy, it's quite religious, you're not allowed any combat gear on this island, so the items I recommend bringing are just the silver pot, the spice and the garlic. As you see here, I've got an Ura and also my skill cape. I'm going to actually have to remove these before going, so I'd recommend going to the bank in Draenor, and then after that what you want to do is head out to Port Sarim. Okay, so once you arrive in Port Sarim, what you want to do is come up to one of these northern docks here, and you can see all these monks here. What you're going to do is right click on them and travel, and this will take you out to their island. What you want to do is skip the cutscene because that shit is pretty boring. And then once you arrive at the island, what you're going to want to do is disembark from the boat and then head to the main church, which is just to your northeast as you come off the boat. And then once you arrive in here, you're going to see hopefully the high priest, and then you get talk to this high priest, and hopefully this high priest is going to bless our silver pot. So now it is a blessed pot. So for this next part now, we are going to return ourselves to Canifis. Right, okay, so once we arrive back in Canifis, we're not quite going to the boss fight just yet, so don't worry about banking. What we're going to do is we're going to re-enter into the pub just to the south and then talk to Malak again. And then basically what he's going to do is he's going to put something into our pot. What we now want to do is use the garlic, or want to grind the garlic first into garlic powder. Hopefully you should have a pestle mortar on your tool belt. If you don't, then you might have to go buy one, though I expect 99% of people will do. And then use the spice on the blessed pot as well. Now basically when you've got everything into the pot, if you want to you can talk to Malak, get some more background information. However, I'm just going to skip that part out and tell you the background information. What we're going to be doing is going to this graveyard, which is located here on the map, and then basically we're going to be going into a fight. Now I believe this is a level 120 combat. What is recommended is you need to have this blessed pot on you to initiate the fight. You're going to need some good combat gear. It's recommended magic, however I'm just going to go with melee, and you can see how I do. The sickle bee as well, which I'll show you what that is in a minute if you've forgotten. Food and also some potions like prayer potions, and also maybe a superset if you've got a lower level. Okay, so once you're ready and you've got your setup, got some food, prayer pots, sickle bee if you have it, it's not required, but obviously while you travel over there you are going to lose some of your food, it's going to become rotten. And then obviously got the blessed pot. I'm going to start to make my way over there. Now there's a shortcut if you have completed the quest in search of the Merc. Unfortunately I've not actually completed that quest yet, but if you have completed it then use the shortcut. I'll place the shortcut on screen. Unfortunately I'm going to have to go the long way though. One good point here is watch out, these are the gas, they will turn your food to rotten if you don't have a sickle bee. However, if you actually do have the sickle bee then they can turn your food to rotten, however there's less of a chance. Anyway, so once you've finally arrived at the graveyard like me, what you want to do is you want to get ready for a combat fight. Now as you see this grave in the middle, this is what we're going to be pouring this pot onto. Now The combat method that it's mainly going to be attacking us with is melee, however it will be using a bit of magic supposedly as well. So what you want to do is use the blessed pot on the grave, and then basically as you can see the monster is going to pop out. So it's only level 84. I think the guide I was using was out of date, and again it looks like I'm absolutely smashing it. So I don't think there's really overly much need for me to use food or any prayers whatsoever. As you can see, it was really easy for me to kill on the basis I did not need magic, didn't need to use any of my food or any of my prayer pots. These are my combat skills, so from this I'd recommend just using melee. Okay, so once you actually have the kill, what you're going to want to do is go back and talk to Malik to actually get the diamonds. So I'm going to teleport back to Canifis again and then go into the pub. So once you arrive in the pub, re-talk to Malik again, and then basically he'll take the pot off you and then he'll give us the blood diamond, which is what we are wanting. Again, I'd recommend banking it quite quickly in case this mysterious person appears and starts to attack us again. So after that now, that is us completed 2 of the 4 diamonds. Alright, okay, so the next diamond we're going to be moving on to is the smoke diamond. What we're going to need for this is either a face masked earmuffs, which I've got like so. All you want to do is put a face mask and earmuffs together. For that, quite basic, this is the easiest one you can probably do, and you can buy both of these items from a Slayer Master, or you can also use a Slayer helm of any type as well. It recommends you have magic armor and attack with magic, however after the last fight I'm just going to stick with melee because it is really easy. I feel it's not too much of a difference. However, there is one major significant part to this: ice gloves. Ice gloves that come from the hero's quest. If you do not have ice gloves on, then you cannot have a primary weapon, or you can have it on but it will do absolutely no damage whatsoever. So without ice gloves you can only use an offhand weapon, which you can do, but it will make this section a lot harder. If for some reason you've lost them, then go back to the Heroes Guild and I'm sure you should be able to get some more via that way. Again, I've just got my basic combat setup here. I've got myself a super energy potion just because there's going to be quite a lot of running around for this next part. A water skin because we're in the desert. A magic pot because we will have another 120 so-called fight. I think that's to do with the old combat system. I've got a feeling it'll be 98 or 88 like it has been in the past. And I've also brought myself some food, a lot less though compared to last time because the boss was so easy. So where we're going to be going for this is a cave just to the west of Pollenvich, which is also east of the lodestone in the desert, which you can see on map now. The best way of accessing Pollenvich here is from Alcarad. I'd recommend coming down to Shanty Pass, getting on the magic carpet, and then going to Pollenvich, and then from there running around to the cave entrance. Or if you're lucky enough like me, I've actually got my Slayer boss located in Pollenvich, so if I rub my Slayer ring, then I'll be able to go to Pollenvich, which saves me a wee bit of time. So if you are travelling to Pollenvich either via the Slayer ring or the magic carpet, which is just to the north of the city, what you want to do is follow my route. So the entrance is the smoky well here. This is why we either have the masked earmuffs, the face mask, or the Slayer helm. Once you arrive here, what you're going to do is you're going to climb down it, and then basically it's going to give you a wee warning. So once you've climbed down it, you're going to be in this dungeon now. So what you are going to do is you're going to head in a easterly direction, like I am, until you find a very large and open room, which there's a chest in the middle. Around it will be fire giants. They might be a little bit aggressive, so for this part I'd recommend turning off auto retaliate. Now what we're going to do is try to open this burnt chest here, and unfortunately we won't be able to. Need to light a path. Now in the bigger deal of things, we're in a larger dungeon here, and as you can see on the map, what I'll do is I'll put another map in the corner with everything sorted out. But as you can see from this, what it is there's actually 4 corners, and these 4 corners are significant because in these 4 corners there are lights which we need to light up, or large torches. So we need to do all these in a certain amount of time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off in the southeastern corner, move up to the northeastern corner, then go to the northwestern corner and southwestern corner. I'm not at all sure what the exact time is to light all these up, but I know it has to be relatively fast or it will reset. This is why I brought myself a super energy potion so I can run around this area quite easily without having to rest. Okay, so from here I'm going to start off in the southeastern corner, so what you want to do is follow my route. Just a quick note as well, just for future reference, this is where Farid is located. We need to get the key out of the burnt chest to get into this place, and this is where we'll be coming back to after we've lit up all the torches. So now that I'm just about in the southeastern corner, what I recommend doing is having a look at the map which I've got on screen. This will hopefully help you out. What you might want to do as well is I'm just going to recharge my run, and as you can see that's me now recharged up to 100%, and this allows me to run around a lot easier. I've also got my super energy for this as well though. So basically in each corner there's one of these, a standing torch. What we want to do is just light it up and then move on to the next one as fast as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and start off and lighting all these up. Again, I'm doing southeast corner, northeast corner, northwest corner, and then southwest corner. This is probably the most efficient way to do it, I've worked out. So I'm going to start off by lighting up this southeastern torch and then making my way up to the northeast. This is me now arrived at the northeastern corner. I'm going to light this up and then head over to the northwestern corner. If you're smart like me, for example, and you are making good use of your minimap, what you can actually do is, because all the paths wind around, hopefully you can place your marker down on the minimap, which saves you clicking as much. This is me now in the northwestern corner. I'm now going to light this up. As you can see, my run has deplenished down to just about 0 there, so I had to take a wee sip of my super energy. However, I believe you do have time to rest actually. I'm not at all sure what the time is, how long it takes you. It's not overly high, to be honest. You can afford 1 or 2 muck-ups or rest. However, I'm just doing this live, so I want to make sure that I get it right first time. And this is the final torch here in the southwestern corner. Light this up and it's going to say in your chat now this path is now lit. Now claim the key. So if we go back to the original room where we started off, where the burnt chest was, it's basically from the southwestern corner. You want to go north basically and then go in an easterly direction, and then you should come out at the original room. Once you arrive back in this room, what you want to do is open up the burnt chest, and this time hopefully you should get yourself a warm key. So now what we're going to need to do is run back through this whole complex again, and where I said Farid was located, the gate that we needed to unlock, that's where we need to head to. Alright, okay, so once you arrive at this gate, what you're going to do is use the warm key on the gate, and then the gate should open. Then our enemy is going to spawn Farid. He is only level 84, however this time he's going to attack us. He's going to use a combination of melee attacks on us, and he's also going to use some magic on us. However, as you've seen, that fight went over too quickly actually. Didn't have enough time to commentate over that. If you need to, use your protect from prayers. Use some food, use the prayer pot, use all that sort of stuff if you need to. As you've seen there, like, I just destroyed him way too easily there. But from that we'll actually receive the smoke diamond instantly. We will not have to go back to anyone. So that's the smoke diamond part over. Again, I recommend taking it to a bank fairly quickly. I'm going to go to Elf City because it's a good place to go to, and then we'll move on to our final diamond. Alright, okay, so for this next part it is the Shadow Diamond, our final diamond which we need to get. So what we need to do is head to Backstorian Falls. The best way is if you have a teleport to the Fishing Guild, then use that. If not, do what I'm doing. I'm using the Ardung Lodestone and then running in a northwesterly direction. I'm going to split this part into 2 parts because lockpicks, you're going to need quite a lot of them, and also the boss for this part is actually really high level. Now I know that I've said that in the other 2 parts and the boss has been really easy. This boss in a sense has 2 lives, and his level actually doubles, I believe, from just under 100 to just under 200, so it's going to be a lot more of a difficult fight. So I would recommend watching this diamond part first before you actually do it yourself. Now some people have really struggled with this part, the lockpicks. Some people it's taken 5 lockpicks, some people have heard it's taken over 40 lockpicks. I think it is based on the feeding level. I've got 76 feeding, so we'll see how this goes, but I'm going to take 20 lockpicks and see how this goes. So for this part, let's head off to Backstorian Falls. Okay, so once you arrive here, we're not actually going to be going to the falls directly, but it's going to be this house here, which is beside the lake and the falls. And what we're going to do, there's going to be this person outside called Laszlo, and basically we're going to talk to this person here. You're then going to select option number 3, ask about the Diamond of Az. Then when you get the option, select yes. And basically his problem is that he got something stolen and we need to give it back to him. And then if we do that, he'll give us access to this underground dungeon area, which we can go get the diamonds that we need to get, the shadow diamonds. So for this, there's going to be quite a lot of traveling to this part. What we're now going to do is we're going to travel out to the bandit camp back in the desert again. So the best method for this is to go to Alcared, then go down to Shanty Pass, get the magic carpet from Shanty Pass, out to the Bedabin camp, run south, and then from there I'll tell you what to do. For this part, just a quick note, because we're back in the desert, I brought myself a water skin and 2 bits of food, just in case something goes wrong. So I'm now here, and at the fast travel where I'll get the Shanty Pass, and I'm going to go out to the Bedouin camp. This is where basically we started the quest, if you remember. We're talking to the archaeologist here. Once you arrive in the Bedouin camp, if you are using this teleportation method, then you're going to want to run south. And then once we arrive back in the bandit camp, we're in this pub earlier on. What we're going to do is there should be a tent in the southwestern corner, and hopefully in this tent there should be a chest. So this is the secure chest, which is the thing that Laszlo wants us to get. So what you're going to try to do is open up the chest, and then unfortunately we can't do it. So it's going to give you this prompt to try and open the chest. So I'm going to select option number 1, yes. And it looks like unfortunately it hasn't worked and my lockpick had snapped. I think you actually get poisoned as well, I'm not at all sure. I lost a life point there, which is green, so not at all sure why. But I'm going to try again and continuously over again until I get this. I do not know how many attempts it's going to take me. Might take me 3, might take me 40, I don't know. But we'll see. Alright, okay, so it looks like I've managed to get into it there. I believe there's 2 or 3 locks. There's 2 locks you need to get. Every single first attempt that I did, I got the first lock, but I didn't get the second lock. So it didn't take me too bad. It only took me 7 out of 20 pick locks. This is based on my feeding level being 76. I believe it is subject to feeding level. Lower feeding level you have, I believe, on that basis it's going to be more lockpicks. However, there's also luck also put into that equation, so no idea what the code is for that. But it's only taken me 7 lockpicks, so I'm not going to complain. We're going to get this, the Gilded Cross, and basically this is what he wants. So now what we're going to have to do, unfortunately, is head all the way back out to the falls. I know this is quite a trek. Okay, now prior to you going back, what you're going to want to do is hit up the bank, because you want to get rid of all these lockpicks. The reason why I split this part into 2 is because I know it'll take some people a lot of lockpicks, and it'll take up the majority of their inventory, and it will not have enough room for food. And for this part, I think you're going to need a lot of food. So what we're going to want to have in our inventory is just food orientated stuff. Make sure you have this Gilded Cross, good combat gear. This combat gear doesn't matter, it doesn't suggest mage for this one, so hopefully we should be okay. I'm going to go with my combat gear that I've been using again, so no different. However, this is going to be much more of a difficult battle than we have seen previously before. Now, as you can see here, this is my setup. Yes, it is a bit of a mess. But what I've got here is I've got myself 2 prayer potions, and only 2 prayer potions and a lot more food. You might want to take more prayer potions. I wouldn't recommend this because basically the first boss, or the first part of the boss anyway, is going to be like a normal fight. The second part, unfortunately, then starts to drain our prayer down like every second by 20 points. And on the basis that I've near enough got full prayer points, I'm at 670, I will have about 30 seconds of prayer. But I realise that not everyone has a high as prayer level as me, and also the fact that because we'll be under a combat situation, you'll have to be clicking and worrying about food as well. Also the point that in this room where we're going to be going to, more than one monster will be attacking you at once because it's a multi-combat area, so you also have skeletons attacking you at the same time. As I've said, I maybe suggest you watch how I do this part first before attempting it yourself. It should only take us a few minutes. Anyway, so once you have banked, what we're going to do is we're going to head back up to Laszlo. So once you arrive back up here, what you're going to do is you're going to talk to him again, and then basically he's going to ask, have you received his cross? We did manage to get his cross, not too bad. And he's going to now give us a ring of invincibility. So if you're wearing a ring like me, I think I'm wearing the ring of life for some reason. What you're going to do is you're going to need to equip this ring of visibility. It's actually visibility. And then what you're going to do is in this garden just to the east here, basically there's going to be an invisible sort of ladder which is going to appear. So you're going to climb down it. This is going to bring us into a cave system. What you want to do is you want to follow my route on map now and make your way to the other side where we'll be doing the boss fight. Now a quick note as well, there's 84 skeletons throughout this whole cave. I believe this is a monster along with bats, rats and some shadow hounds as well. So there's quite a lot of different creatures, some of them higher levels, some of them lower levels. So this will be a bit interesting if you're a lower combat level. If you're like me at level 115, hopefully things shouldn't go too bad. Doesn't look like for me actually the monsters are being aggressive, however I know for a fact that they can be aggressive. I'm not at all sure if I'm just wearing a certain item or I'm getting lucky or I'm over a certain combat level. However, I don't think everyone is going to be in the same situation as me. So just recommend bringing food, being extra cautious. I'd also recommend an emergency teleport, which I forgot to say. I've got my amulet of glory, so I can get out of here very quickly. However, I'd also recommend bringing that as well if you do struggle with combat. Okay, so once you've followed my route or like my route, what you're going to do is basically some stuff's going to come up in the chat and then it's going to say prepare to meet your doom. I'm going to meet my doom supposedly here, but as you see here, this Damus spawns in and basically going to start attacking it. Now I've still got auto retaliate off, so I'm going to put it back on. In the guide that I was helping to you, supposedly these skeletons were supposed to attack you as well, but they're not, for me anyway, not at all sure why that is. There's also one or two safe spots as well, which I'll just walk you around here while I'm only get attacked by the easy mob here. You can use this corner here, I believe, that's a safe spot. If you go in there, then you can only get attacked by one or two creatures and block them off from around here. So also if you loop round here and go into there, that's a safe spot as well. If you want to also use range as well, there's some of these wee like things that poke up from the ground. Not done geography in a long time, so I can't remember what they're called, but they are very good to do stuff behind. So anyway, now we're on to the second boss. The first boss is really easy, and as you can see, this boss actually really isn't that hard again, but it has drained my prayer, so that is one thing to note. So it's again really easy. I believe it actually doubled in combat level, however it doesn't. Guides have changed, obviously a lot of them are still pre-EOC, and people like me should be updating them, but I'm not. But as you can see, it's not too difficult. However, obviously if you rely on prayer as a defense heavily, then that might be a bit of a situation. That's why I brought extra food. So anyway, there we go. It's going to say I should make sure I have all 4 diamonds with me before I speak to Iblis again. So Shadow Diamond is going to be on the floor. Make sure you pick that up. If you do leave this whole area again, I believe you have to go and kill the boss again. And I mean by area, I mean this dungeon. So now what we're going to do is we're going to head on to the end part now. That's just got all the diamonds, done the introduction. I said there was 5 parts, in a sense there's 6 parts. We've now got to finish up the quest. It's not as easy as just finishing up the quest and going ahead and getting everything done. For this next part, what we're going to need to do is going to go to a bank. I'm going to go to Al-Kharid because we are going to be going back into the desert, so we're going to be going that way anyway. Okay, so for this final part, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going back down to the area where the lodestone is, where Iblis is. So for this part, you're actually not going to want any combat gear because we're not going to be doing any more combat fights. However, we will still be getting attacks, but we're lucky enough that hopefully we should be able to just run past it. So for this, what I'd recommend and what the official guide recommends for this is that you use weight reducing clothing. Weight reducing clothing items are the best 2 in the game anyway, are the Wicked Cape, which lowers your stats by 6, and then also the Boots of Lightness as well, which lowers your stats by 5 or 4 I believe. So with these 2, as you can see, my weight is -8. Now for the inventory, what you want to have is you want to have some super restore potions, because we're going to be running around layers of a pyramid to complete this quest, and if you stay still for too long, I don't know how long the time is, hopefully we won't be staying still at all, but you get reset, so you go back to the start of the pyramid. There's 4 levels we need to go down. Now things are going to pop out at us in the pyramid. I believe mummies are going to pop out. scarab swarms are going to pop out, and there's something else which I can't remember. Basically, when they pop out, they actually stop you from moving, so you need to pay quite close attention here, because obviously you're going to place your marker down on the location that you want to go, but obviously if something jumps out in front of you, that marker is going to cancel out, so you do need to pay attention. So I've got myself loads of these super restores, because we're going to want to be on the move non-stop here. Probably got too many, but nonetheless I've got them in my inventory. Water skink is we're going to be in the desert and standing around talking to him for a wee while. 1 or 2 bits of food, because I might take a little bit of damage from these things, the mummies, the swarms. I've also got myself a prayer potion, just in case I need to use prayer. I actually need to recharge my prayer, which I will do right now. I've also got myself an anti-poison as well. Anti-poison is quite important here, because the swarms will actually be poisonous, so I'd highly recommend having this. It just makes life a little bit better. And of course I've also got my 4 diamonds as well. These are very important. Make sure they're all the right diamonds. For example, this red diamond looks like a ruby diamond. Make sure it's a blood diamond. So we've got bloods, we've got shadow, we've got ice, and we've got smoke. Right, okay, so once you're ready, like myself, I've got quite a good setup here. What we're going to do is we're going to head back down to the desert. We're going to be heading back down to where the lodestone location is. Unfortunately, as of the stage, we can't unlock the lodestone until we actually complete the quest in full. But what we're going to do is we're going to head back down there. Again, I'd recommend, you can either do 2 ways actually for this. Go to the Shanty Pass and then get the magic carpet out to the Bedabin camp. That's what I'm going to do. However, we can also go via Pollenvich as well, because the walk is actually not too far from there either. In all fairness, looking at the map now, actually Pollenvich is also quite a good route to go. Okay, so once you arrive back here, you're going to see Iblis again. What you're going to do is start talking to him. And then basically he's going to talk about this guy again, this Az guy. I'm not at all sure what his full name is. I'm just calling him Az to make life a lot simpler. What we're going to be doing is he's activated a pyramid for us just to the south of here. So what we're going to do is run directly south, and we should run into a pyramid in the middle of the desert here. Pyramid's quite easy to find. As you can see, we found it near enough straight away. Now, some important facts to point out about this pyramid. This is the entrance here to the pyramid. If you get reset, you'll get put just outside these doors, I believe. Now, there's 4 pillars around here which we need to do stuff with before we go into the pyramid. So, what you want to do is use the diamonds on the pillars around the outside. The colours correspond, so obviously this blood diamond is supposed to be the colour of blood. That's the colour of blood, so we're going to use them on each other. For me, that's red to red. So the northwestern corner is a blood diamond. Now if we come over here to the northeastern corner, then this one here is going to be sort of grey colour. Hopefully, I believe this is the smoke diamond, which is going to go in here. I believe they are the same colour, and there we go, that one's activated like so. It's going to say in your chat that diamond is absorbed into the pillar. If for some reason it doesn't work, then it'll probably say down there. If you come down now to the southeastern corner, it's then going to also be a similar grey colour, so I'm going to assume this is the shadow one. Actually, it doesn't look like a shadow is that one. I think this is the ice diamond one. That colour scheme is poor, but the southeastern one is the ice diamonds. Then if we come over to the southwestern corner, then we're going to find that the shadow diamond should go in there. In all fairness, that colour is more appropriate to the shadow diamond. So now what we're going to do is all the diamonds have gone and they've been absorbed into the pyramid, I believe. What we're going to do is head round to the entrance, which I just showed you at the north, and then we're going to climb up the ladders, or the steps, sorry, up to the entrance to the pyramid. Now, if you are a lower combat level, I'd recommend having Protect from Melee on at certain times. I'm just going to run through it without it. I've got some food with me. Super restores, make sure your run is at 100% right now. If you want to, make sure you get ready to drink some anti-poison, and let's get this underway. So, we're going to enter into here, and what you're going to want to do is I'm going to put the maps up on screen. You're going to want to follow these maps, follow my routes. As again, I said, if you stand in the same place for too long, you'll be brought back to this area here. So if you can somehow maybe take a note of the maps or something like that. I realise a lot of people usually watch my videos at the same time while trying to do the quest, and they do not like me speeding things up. I realise that that's a problem, but you're probably going to maybe have to do dual screens or take a note of the maps here, because you're actually going to have to be looking at it while actually doing it yourself, because you can't stand still for too long. Anyway, enough blabbing, and let's get on to this. So let's get down the first floor. Once we climb down the ladder here, we're now on the first floor. What you want to do is, where the ladder is over here, just to your north, you're going to want to go to that. Unfortunately, we have to go all the way around, so you have to go, in a sense, south to go north. I placed my marker on the map there. As I said though, basically you'll see red doors as you're walking around on the mini-map. These esophagus things, I believe they're, I don't know, whatever they are called, but they host mummies. Mummies can jump out at you. Also swarms will spawn randomly, so you do need to watch out for them. Anyway, once you get all the way around there, what you want to do is you want to climb down the ladder, and this will take us down onto the second floor. Second floor is a lot more complicated than the first floor. Obviously it's going to get a wee bit more progressively harder. It's not too bad actually though. Basically, as you can see from here, just 2 layers up, there's a ladder in the corner there. So if you place your marker up to the top there, then hopefully that should allow us to run all the way around. What you're going to do is you're going to head down to the southeastern corner, then to the southwestern corner, then up to the northwestern corner, and then along a wee bit east to the north. Quite simple like. So it looks like, for some stupid reason, my character is taking the wrong path. So do not exactly copy me for this part. My character has badly taken the wrong path actually. But obviously if you place your marker right, like you should have done at the start, why am I standing still? Then basically you should have got there in the first place. Now as you've seen there, why was I standing still? Well, a swarm did appear, and if swarms jump out at you, as I've said like 4 times now, your character will basically just stop walking. So you do need to be aware of that. Again, I've stopped walking and a swarm's appeared. So what you need to do is continue walking and pay attention here, because I'm not at all sure how long the wait time is, but I really do not want to be reset basically. This is why of course we brought the super restores, just to make life a little bit easier in case we need to use them. Not at all sure I'll definitely need to use any of them, but it's good that I've got them there anyway. Anyway, once we get round to the top here, we're going to climb down the ladder, and we're now onto the third floor. The third floor is not too complicated actually. You just want to head directly south, with what route actually you want to go to your west, I believe, and then from the west side what you want to do is work your way south. Once you get round about to this middle part here on the west side, you actually want to cut right across. So you actually want to go in an easterly direction from the west side. So in a sense, from the north you're going to your west, coming down a bit, then going all the way to the east side near enough, down into the southeastern corner, and then from there we're just going to go west a bit. And unfortunately it looks like, as you can see, a mummy came out his coffin there and was aggressive to me, so that's why I stopped. But from the southeastern corner, sorry, is that a swarm now spawning as well? Stopping quite a lot right now for some reason, don't know why. There's been a lot of lag on the servers as of mid-December right now, so that could be a problem. But from the southeastern corner we're going to head in an easterly direction, and this will, sorry, westerly direction, and this will eventually take us to the ladder, which is located to the south of the level. So finally the fourth floor now, and this is going to be our final floor. This one is not too bad actually. What we're going to be doing, there's a room just in the middle, which you can see at the top of my mini map here. If you have EOC enabled, then you should be able to see it, but what you're going to want to do is head in a westerly direction, and then what you're going to want to do is then from there go north a little bit, and then basically the path is going to wind around, but you're going to want to try and make your way up as far as possible to the north when you've gone to your west. For some reason I again stopped there, watched out for a swarm, couldn't see the swarm, but I'm making my way there slowly but surely. So once you get into the northwestern corner, what we're going to do is going to be shuffling our way along to the opposite northeastern corner. So just following in a sense the north wall, you're going to have to go south a little bit, but then mainly it's going to be in an easterly direction like what I'm doing, like so. And then basically from here, as you can see, I'm right just up north above the certain location. You can hopefully place a marker on the mini-map, and as long as you don't get swarmed, unfortunately I have got swarmed, then what you can do from there is just hopefully your character will just run all the way there. Now don't actually click, or you will not be able to click into the big box in the middle of the level where the quest ends, because there's this wall here. So once you finally get just a bit north of it, what you want to do is open the doorway and walk in. From now on, now you're in this room, you're now safe from combat. So you can turn off prayers, you can re-eat if you want to, stuff like that. You're not going to be taking any damage from the desert heat either, and do not worry about time, because you will not have to, you basically will not get reset now that you're in this room. So once you are in this room though, what you want to do is talk to our good friend Az, and then basically he's going to say a lot of stuff which we really don't care about. Well, I don't care about. You can read through it if you want, but I'm just going to skip through the chat now, and then hopefully after all this we should get the quest complete. Now there we go, quest complete. So congratulations, quest complete. It says Desert Treasure now complete. You're awarded with 3 quest points, 20,000 imagining experience, ancient magics, which I'll talk about in a minute, and 2 treasure hunter keys. This is now a new spellbook actually, which this can be applied. If we come over here to the portal and we pray at the portal, then this is actually going to change, I believe, something. So I was right actually. If you come here, and basically as you can see, I'm on the normal spellbook here, normal attacks, normal skilling. So if we're looking at my teleports and then I pray at this altar, it's going to change. It's going to give me all this new sort of stuff. So it's going to give me all these different teleports, which half these places I don't think I've ever actually heard of. It's going to give me different attacks as well, blood bursts, which we don't usually have, and it's not actually going to give us anything on the skilling section. So as you can see, a little bit different. All you want to do is pray at this altar to alternate this sort of stuff. If you enter the portal here, this should take us back out to the surface. There's an exit from the back of the pyramid which we couldn't access before this, but we can do now. If you want to come and change your spellbook, then you can enter that way and then basically go down there and change your spellbook. I have a feeling, however, you can actually change your spellbook in the Elf City, so there's no need to do this. That's if, of course, you have Elf City unlocked. What I am actually going to do now is I'm going to head north from the pyramid back to where the lodestone is located, because I want to activate this lodestone, because I believe now that we've unlocked the ancient magics, we can now do this. Hopefully this will allow me to do this now. So if you come over here and info the lodestone, then as you can see, I believe that is me now unlocked the destination for the bandit camp. So if I come into my spellbook here, I now have bandit camp long last unlocked. So guys, hope you've enjoyed this whole quest. Took me a wee while to make, so please leave it a like rating, and I'll catch you in another quest. Adios.